Hello everybody, welcome to my living room. You can see that the cat is the owner of the living room. But yeah, a lot of PC parts, as you can see, a majority of it is from MSI. We're gonna say thanks to our sponsor for today, Meowie. No, it's not Meowie. But Meowie, stop, Meowie. Special thanks to our sponsor for today, MSI and NVIDIA. That's right, we're gonna talk about ray tracing, we're gonna talk about DLSS and maybe even Reflex. MSI has a lot of PC components, so do check them out. So the purpose for today's build is the best gaming PC that money can buy. That's right, we're going for NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 3090. Although we have a 3090 here, but MSI gonna send a Suprim. Today what date? 2 days later. It will come 2 days later. And for our CPU, AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. Oh, can't wait to build this, man. Can't wait to play games. I want to show off a lot of features that the NVIDIA 3090 has. Ray tracing, DLSS, Reflex. So let's get on to the build. But first, let's get some stuff that are not needed for the build, like this MSI monitor, MSI keyboard and mouse. You can put one side first. So yes, I did say AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. 16 cores, 32 threads. Insane. And of course, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3090 MSI Gaming Trio. Later we get the Suprim, but I don't talk about this first. Later we talk about this, okay? Yeah, when the Suprim come. For the motherboard, we have the Mac X57 Godlike. This online sell 1.2K just for the motherboard. Firstly, the board itself has 3 M.2 slots and it comes with an extension with extra 2 M.2 slots. You have 10 gig LAN, you have Wi-Fi 6. Why do you need 10 gig and Wi-Fi 6? I don't know, but you can. You have. There's an LED for errors and stuff, which is pretty cool. So for RAM, we have the Vengeance LPX 16x4 3000 MHz. For the CPU cooler, we have the MSI Mac Core Liquid 360R. We have some case fans from Armageddon. Thank you so much, Armageddon. Power supply, I have the FSP 1200 watts 80 Platinum. Oh, Meowie? No. 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD times 2. Last but not least, I know I'm not in focus. This is a big one, man. For the case, we have the Lian Li O11 Dynamic XL. This, ayo, Meowie, you okay? It's okay, it's an empty box, guys. Look at that. Oh, I know my last MSI build, y'all had some disagreement with my case choice. This should be good lah, huh? Meowie, how to build? Huh, Meowie? FYI, I'm allergic to cats. So this is my first time working with a cat. I put it. I mean, my first time working on a Lian Li case with RGB fans that are controlled by a hub. So this build took way longer than usual, 4 hours to be exact. So this case was actually harder than I expected. If I'm not wrong, it should power up and there should be RGB lah. Now you ready for the lights? RGB 仔仔 wow. What do you think, Meowie? So now it's like 12 AM, so I think I'm just gonna set this onto my main PC desk. So let's go.
Several days later.
Finally, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3090 Suprim X is here. I did say it's gonna come in 2 days. It took 2 weeks. Some problems in the shipping. Everything else is set up. We got the MSI GK80 keyboard, we got the GM50 mouse, and we got the Mac 34-inch ultra-wide MSI monitor. Ooh. But okay, we're gonna shut this off and install the GPU. Gaming Trio X. It's actually a really good looking card. My first time unboxing this, yeah? Mousepad. We got mousepad. GPU support, which I don't think I can use. You even have the logo at the back. I'm sure it's going to be lit up by RGB. These are the support system for the GPU. The reason why you need these is because it's a heavy boy. And if you don't have it, it can kind of bend your PCIe and you don't want that to happen. It's more of a precaution. I have been running this 3090 without any support brackets, but this will give me a peace of mind so I can sleep at night. One problem with this support system is that there is actually a base that is supposed to be at the bottom of the case, and the bottom of my case have fans. But I put the setup so that the exhaust is facing up, so I think I can just place it at the plastic pieces around the fans. A bit dangerous but we try lah. We install and see. Install is not too bad. This, ooh, look at that sag. So things to take note also is that, you know, this support system, you don't want to put it at the fans. It's not gonna hit the fan or even block the fan, so you don't want that to happen. Kinda works. Quite ugly if you ask me. So now you can see the sag so much better. Supported. See? Ooh. Oh my god, yes, the logo! RGB! Alright. Oh, look at that. So you might be wondering, why am I changing a 3090 with a different 3090? Because the Gaming Trio X and the Suprim X have two main differences. One is the boost clock. The Gaming Trio X have boost clock of 1785 MHz and the Suprim X has a boost clock of 1860 MHz. Although if you use their Dragon Center, you can boost it to 1875 MHz. This is without like overclocking it. The second difference is the max power limit. The Gaming Trio X has a max power limit of 385 watts, while the Suprim X power limit is 450 watts. So yeah, let's go into Dragon Center and we go into the scenario. You want to change it to extreme performance. So we're running Cyberpunk at Ray Tracing Ultra, resolution 2560 1440. That's the only benchmark I have for the Gaming Trio X, so we're gonna try this first. Wait, no full screen. Yeah. So the Gaming Trio X run the game at about 40 FPS. We'll see how well it runs. Oh, whoa! No way, man. No way. Okay, firstly, the clock speed is running at 2000 MHz, 75 to 80 FPS. Okay, it went down to like 70. Bring the big guns. Okay, now it's going down to 69. Haha, 69 FPS. Oh, cops coming. Ah, me dead. Let's try full screen and ultra wide. See whether you can do ray tracing ultra. 55, 60 FPS. It will definitely drop below 60 once the action heats up. I think it's playable. One thing I'm very curious, what if I turn off DLSS? DLSS turn off is about 35 FPS. Definitely not playable. So I did more tests with Cyberpunk, and while driving in Cyberpunk, the GPU doesn't perform very well with DLSS. I suspect it's either because DLSS doesn't do so well when you're moving quickly, or the game is not optimized and require more time to render objects quicker when you are moving. But while standing still, there is expected performance of significant FPS improvement. However, I do not recommend ultra performance settings for DLSS, as this really makes the game look bad. Minimally, I would recommend using performance settings. I have already explained DLSS in my previous video, but here's a short summary of what it is. Your GPU renders the game at a lower resolution, for example 1080p, and then upscales to your native resolution, which in my case is 1440p. Don't know what ray tracing is, right? The previous technology we are using to shade in shadows and lights is called rasterization. It's basically putting the shadows and lights onto the object, whereas ray tracing, right, is actually having a light source reflecting on surfaces. For Cyberpunk, the difference is barely noticeable when you're actually playing the game. Partially is because the developers did a great job with rasterization. So turning on ray tracing won't make the game look significantly better, but when we look at a still shot of the game and compare them side by side, there is definitely an improvement in lighting and shadows. Although when it's daylight, it's quite hard to see lah. However, it's a whole different story for Minecraft. The difference is day and night. It looks so much better with ray tracing, and that's because the game did not focus on graphics at the start. So now with ray tracing, it not only looks accurate, but it's downright beautiful. Okay, I want to try one more game. Valorant, esports game, and want to get the most FPS out of this game. Usage is about 95%. You want to know the frame rate? It's only practice lah, but 685 FPS. Okay, when you shoot, it goes down to 600, down to 580, but wow, when you're doing nothing, it's 800. So if I'm looking at this area, I get about 800 FPS. Let's see whether we can overclock it a bit. We're running at 2100 MHz and it's running pretty stable. Now it's going up to the high 800 FPS, 870. Still going about 800 average. So one more thing I want to show you guys is NVIDIA Reflex. To get it, you need to get GeForce Experience. When you press Ctrl Z, in game, you get this tab called Performance. Okay, all you need to do is enable automatic tuning. It will say, warning, overclocking your GPU may cause your PC to become unstable or show visual artifacts. No problem, overclock. So to understand Reflex, we first need to understand latency. When you click a button on a mouse or keyboard, the information is sent to the motherboard, mouse to motherboard, and then motherboard to GPU, then GPU all the way to your monitor. All this will take time, and that time is called latency. What NVIDIA Reflex does is to overclock your GPU so that it reduces latency. So if you have an NVIDIA card, you can use Reflex, and if you have a 3000 series GPU, you will have the frame rate, so you have no more excuse. If you suck, you just suck. So after this, I want to benchmark the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3090 Suprim X. Definitely compare it with the gaming trio and also benchmark games that I never benchmarked before. I know a lot of you want to see your games get benchmarked, so I will do that, don't worry. Got your back. So yeah, we're gonna go for the benchmarks. So all in all, the price of this PC is $7,178. Boy, it is expensive. And I'll say that a lot of these parts are for people who don't care about price. They want the best of the best even though the performance to price is not worth it. All for overclocking enthusiasts. But don't be discouraged by the price, because features like ray tracing, NVIDIA DLSS, and NVIDIA Reflex are possible even with an NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti, which is way more affordable. I know that about 45% of y'all are on the fence for ray tracing. 42% of y'all just don't care about it, and the remaining 13% really care about ray tracing. For me, I love to have the latest technology in gaming, and some games like Minecraft look so good with ray tracing. So much so that it's hard to go back to its previous rasterized version once you tried it with ray tracing. For NVIDIA Reflex, I do feel the latency has improved and is definitely something to look for, especially if you play competitive shooter games like CSGO or Valorant. And lastly, DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling, should always be used when the game has it. It's basically free FPS. It's free FPS. I think, and this is an assumption, that NVIDIA made DLSS to address frame drops from ray tracing. But for now, it seems that people prefer more FPS than a better looking game. But there is also another use for DLSS, which is to play games smoothly at 4K, even with a more affordable GPU like the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070. So all in all, ray tracing, good to have. Reflex, good to have if you play competitive games, and DLSS, always use. So let me know if this video was useful, and if you want to see more in-depth testing of this 3090 Suprim X, or actually any NVIDIA's 3000 series. I actually have all of them right now. So let me know which one you want to see more. 3060 Ti, 3070, 3080, 3090. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I am done. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. Dislike if you dislike lah, but if you dislike also, give me some constructive criticism lah, huh? Okay? We friend. Help me out, okay? Steady one.